you maybe add to this list that if someone watches movies with pornographic material, or maybe if someone watches very often horror movies, can these type of movies open the door to the demonic in someone's life?
So I would say the word you said was could it? Yeah, it could. Porn certainly. Horror movies, I'm less dogmatic about. Okay, I think that I think that some people. So here's the thing about law. You wonder how far can I go before it's too far. Well, with porn, it's always too far. But other things, because look, porn is about objectifying women. Is about it's it's attacking the image of God. All right, that's what it's about. It's taking women and making them into or men and making them into sex objects. They're not. They're not sex objects. Okay, they're imagers. They're like God's image on earth. So treat them like that. But horror movies, um, for me, yes, I can't watch horror movies. For me, it's a sin. How do I know that? Because and watching horror movies opens up my spiritually sensitive kids to demonic attack. Like, okay, in my case, those are off. But I know other people who seem to they can engage them, and I mean, there's some pretty horrible things in the Bible that if you put them on a movie screen would be a horror movie, like the Book of Revelation or half of Ezekiel. And so, like my friend Brian Godawa, who's a screenwriter, and he argues that look, God can use horror. He uses horror all throughout the Bible. But for me, it's triggering somehow. So the Holy Spirit just said, no, Doug, they're off limits. I used to like zombie movies, and um, I can't watch them. I can't. The Lord said no. I can't. And for me, really bloody movies at all, showing human blood being shed is not something that I can do. It's not good for my heart. It's not good for my spirit, and it's not good for the people in my house. I've learned that. Now other people have no problem. They seem to have no problem with it, but for them, something else is the trigger. So here's the thing: we serve a personal God, and so ask Him, "Is this okay?" And make sure you're listening to Him and not what you want. It's like um, but we serve a God who is personal, and he will make it clear. I don't mean audibly necessarily, but I just mean when you're walking a relationship with someone, he'll tell you, like, look to God for your direction. That's what the new covenant's about. Is he'll tell you. And so like an example is the Harry Potter films, the Harry Potter books. Okay, I read the first Harry Potter book. I was bored to tears in it. All right, I mean, I didn't care for it. I didn't like it. I watched the first movie. I was bored to tears. Didn't care for it. Other people were like, "How could you watch witchcraft?" Okay, I get your point. I get your point. But a lot of people didn't seem to engage it on that level. And so I'm like, I don't know. I asked, what does the Lord say? Well, I had a student in a youth group I was in. For her, it was a wide open doorway. Okay. She was getting attacked at night by demonic forces, by demons. And, and she came and we prayed and nothing happened. Nothing worked. So for her, she said, "What am I going to do? What is it? What is causing this? I can't figure it out." And like, I don't think I'm sinning. I don't know. And the Lord spoke to me and said it was Harry Potter. She loved Harry Potter, loved Harry Potter, and I couldn't tell her that, because then you have an authority figure saying you will do this, and that just sows rebellion. Okay, it just does. Unless you're God, it sows rebellion. And sometimes even with God, it sows rebellion. But she was trying to please the Father, so I knew that if she went to the Lord, He would tell her. So I said, you know what? Ask the Holy Spirit. He'll tell you. She said, okay. She came back a few weeks later and said, I figured out what was the open doorway was. I said, oh, what was it? She said, Harry Potter. I'm like, wow. I said, what'd you do? She said, I burned it. I said, wow, really? Like, she said, specifically for her, she said it was this Harry Potter wand that she had bought, right? A wand. And that's what it was. But she said, but just for good measure, I burned it all. I'm like, okay, that's good. That's good. It's great. And
She went radical, like in the Book of Acts, when they were like repenting. They brought a lot of their witchcraft, even though Harry
yep,
Potter is just a novel.
yep,
I'm not a fan of it. I never read it. I didn't bought it, even though I love fantasy.
yep,
But I had some of my Moody professors reading it, reading to their children, no problems, no issues, no demonic attacks. So I think there is truth to what you said. Some stuff are clearly sin for all of us, but with some stuff, it could be to you personally, this is influencing you so negatively. Because I remember years ago, a friend told me that he believed God told him like to stop drinking coffee. For what reason? I do not understand. But for him, that was bad. Not necessarily sin, but
yep.
not to drink coffee. And everyone else, well, not everyone else, but most of us drink coffee, and like it's not a sin. So yes, I that you're absolutely right that you have to be sensitive to the voice of the Holy Spirit.